Welcome back to the Decode podcast booth here at Global Electronics Association Apex Expo 2026. We are joined by Bobby Glidwell from Magnalytix. Welcome to the dais. We've got something pretty cool here because not often can our guests bring things for show and tell into the booth. But we have here objective evidence in a box. So I have a...
Color me intrigued.
I have a suspicion that we'll discuss this. So I think let's begin by discussing what this box does, being cleaning qualification, right?
Sure.
We know that we need to clean the boards. We know that the bar has moved in terms of what classifies a sufficient cleaning process. So there may be requirements that are new for us, and it may be intimidating to some who haven't engaged in it. And I think what Magnalytix has set out to do is to remove all that and just make it easy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been in business since the J Standard 01 added the objective evidence requirements. It started kind of with a lot of questions from people saying, where do I start? What do I do? There's a whole bunch of boards. I've read through the handbook. How do I get this? I'm trying to get this objective evidence compliance. Where do I go about to do that? And like I said, we spent years and years helping customers build defensible objective evidence that they can submit so that they can earn contracts and win business, and just basically standardize and get that compliance. Objective evidence in a box is something that we were kind of uniquely positioned, I think, in the market to do. We make our own dummy components. That's something we didn't set out to do initially. We thought we were just going to be able to go out to market and just buy dummy components, and that, as everybody knows, kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. Lead times can be kind of insane. So we started making our own. We got the PCBs as well. We started making a bunch of different boards that were a little bit more representative of current day technology. And objective evidence in a box really takes all of that, puts it into one package so that you can check that box and kind of move on.
So what does that look like for a contract manufacturer? They get an RFQ, but they need to be able to prove that they have a cleaning process that is objectively defensible. So walk them through what they're going to do once they get this box.
Let's maybe start with what would they do without this, right?
Cross
no bid.
Cross your fingers.
What is the average customer, I guess, that comes to us eventually? What are they thinking about doing? They've got to source components. They got to pick out a board. They've got to figure out how to interpret the results. What lab's going to test this, or worse, what equipment am I got to buy, and what person do I got to hire to run this test and make sense of it for me? What this looks like is completely different. Like I said, we put everything that we need or that you need in order to do the objective evidence test in the box. We've got the PCBs. We've already sourced the dummy components. They're tape and reeled, ready to go on the assembly line. We've even got a quick start guide in there that literally walks you step by step. We've put all the assembly files on our website. It's super easy to download. We've even partnered with Metal Etch. We've been referring customers to you guys for a long time for stencils, and I think this adding that into the box just checked another thing that somebody doesn't have to worry about. So,
yeah, I mean, you've literally thought of everything, and I think when we talked initially, it's like, we're not going to provide paste with it because the customer needs to use their species of paste, right?
Otherwise, they're not proving anything. If it's not a match of what their process is going to be, you didn't prove your process, right?
Yeah. We're trying to figure out a way how to get a 29 by 29 stencil to fit in the box. That we came up short there.
We haven't got there yet.
Yeah. But you make a great point. Standardization is really part of it, right? That's what we're trying to do here. By having a common PCB, by having the same exact dummy components, they're always manufactured the same. You don't have to worry about, are they isolated? Are they not electrically isolated? Any of that. Even the stencil, by having all of that consistent, the only variable that you're monitoring is your process. And like I said, in kind of today's world, let's say you're an OEM, we kind of built this for CMs, was the original goal, but OEMs really like this because of the standardization. If I've got 4 CMs and they've got 5 different sites and I want every one of them to collect objective evidence for me, the way that happens today is that OEM is getting 4 completely different reports that were run by 4 completely different labs with different boards and different tests. And one of them picked the, B24, one of them's got the B52. So how do I make apples to apples comparisons of that? That's really what this is there to solve.
I've had the ability to run the B52 a bunch of times personally in my shop, and it's cool to see how you talked about your own species, but I'm mostly using it to validate new paste, right? I kind of know how my old stuff's going to perform. I want to see how does the new one hold up, right?
Yeah.
Like I can do the reflow profile, I can do all that other stuff, but the variable I'm changing it is the paste and really the flux and how well it's cleaning afterwards.
Right. I think that's the beautiful thing about that consistency, right? You're always putting it through the same paces, no matter what it is, right? It could be paste, it could be a new flux, it could be even a new placement platform or a new printer, whatever it is, you're benchmarking it against the same, putting it through the same courses. But maybe we can rip this thing open and see what's inside.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, try and get a good angle here. Inside the box, we've got, again, that quick start guide. So it's going to go through kind of the build files. It's got a QR code you can scan. It literally walks you step by step on how to handle the boards, how to get that, that board built. It has the actual bare PCBs in here for you. The B52 Legacy 2 cards that we've got years of experience in putting together in reports. Again, all those dummy components are tape and reeled, ready to go. We even included ESD bags for you to put the completed boards in. They slot into the actual foam, so the box gets basically rebuilt. And we even include a return shipping label. So it's literally everything's in the box. Like I said, with partnering with Metal Etch, you guys are shipping out the stencil at the same time the order's placed. So it's one SKU, and the customer is that much closer to having one less problem.
So they get the box, they get the stencil, they've got everything they need to build it, build the boards, place them back into the slot, ship that to you. Then what happens?
We run the test. So we're doing the IPC standard 168 hour at 40 degrees C, 90% relative humidity. So we run it in our lab. That's another thing, again, we're kind of uniquely positioned to do. We actually design and build SIR test equipment. So we have our own lab full of
40 degrees Celsius at 90% humidity?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, we're trying to stress test
That's
the card.
the standard
right?
test for
We're running
SIR,
at 5-volt bias. So we're basically taking the card. We're trying to get monolayers of moisture on the card, and we're testing to see if we have some sort of ECM event on there. And it's a survivability test. So if you make it through that 168 hours and we don't see a sharp drop in the resistance values, then you get your compliance report. So.
And that compliance report is specific to that customer that sent it in. It's got their name. It's something that they can present as, look, third-party objective evidence.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. We've got customers that are coming to us saying, "Hey, I'm a contract manufacturer. Objective evidence isn't in my current contract, but my contract's up for renewal, and I'm expecting that word to be in there. Where do I start? What do I do?" And that's what this was designed for. We've got a single product. This gets that in their hands, and they can run those boards, send them to us. They get that report. It's got the stamp on it.
It isn't just the customer, though. The CM would love to have that confidence of knowing that
Absolutely.
the process has been proven to be good. I mean, if you're taking on new jobs, you're trying to, you know what it's like. You get a new customer, you're so eager for everything to go perfect, which it always does, right? And so you're hoping you use something like this, and then it just puts everything a little more peace of mind. You're giving your customer a good product.
I took it a little step further because I'm like, why not? And because it's not often that I always get time to actually x-ray the components.
Sure.
So I was always curious because I'm like, well, I'm trying 4 different pastes here. Let me see how the voiding is on all of them, right? So I actually x-rayed the QFNs on there, and I could see, I'll just say paste A, B, C, and D, right? And I could see the different type of voiding I was getting from each, because it's the same, everything's the same, right? And I'm not changing anything. This is the process window. Their data sheets, right, say that it should be able to fit this like they all do, right? Mm-hmm. But it was interesting to see the different results I was getting from everyone and then kind of compare that to every single salesperson I've ever talked to from all of those companies saying that they have the lowest voiding, right? And I was able to show like, hey, this is what I was getting, and this is what product B was showing me, right?
And for a premium subscription of $49.99, Sean will reveal who vendor A,
I don't
B, C,
want
and
to.
D.
Yeah, I just because there's so many variables, right? It depends, right? What was going on with this and that, and I don't want to get into who. I just know when I ran that, and I ran the same board, same placement machine. The same stencil. The only thing that changed was the paste, right? Same reflow profile. This is the results I was getting.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do this in your facility?
I have one in my facility right now. I've done it. I've done the B-52s before. My box came white though.
Say that again.
My box came white though.
It came white.
Yeah.
I know. We didn't have the boxes ready for the
I know.
board that shipped
I
to you.
seen it on Tuesday. I'm like, why is mine white?
Why didn't mine
It's a lot
look like
prettier
that?
now, though, right?
I don't get a
is really
QR.
nice.
Where's my QR code? Right?
Yeah, this looks like something that might be like on a store shelf right now. So
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time to make it, like I said, just everything in the box, make the box actually useful for sending the boards back and that kind of thing, because you'd be surprised at how boards get sent in sometimes, or maybe not. So,
Yeah, they wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised.
But it's like, how am I supposed to test this? It's not even one piece, right?
yeah, and it doesn't help that shipping can be kind of rough on them too. So, putting the foam and getting everything that way and doing a premium box, it really does help with that.
And what I liked about our conversation one day was like, to make it even easier, maybe in the future we can have like the placement files already there.
Yeah.
That's been programmed for different machines. So it's not like you have to program the job. You can literally just take that file and load it in there for this software, this machine.
Yeah,
right?
we're working with customers now,
That's-
including yourself, on getting those files prepared. Those are all going to go on the website for the box, so they'll be
'Cause then
available.
it's, I don't want to program it. I don't want to shut down. Like you don't
You're
have
removing
to.
all
right?
the excuses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, literally, you just have to goop the paste on right and go. So,
And it's not just helpful for people that have that objective evidence requirement. I think you mentioned before that, some people may just be interested in where am I at today? Maybe they don't have that objective evidence requirement, but they don't want to deal with that while they're trying to bid for contracts, right?
Plus, we test everything else throughout the process, right? You're inspecting solder paste after the screen printer. You're doing AO, maybe pre and post AOI, maybe pre and post reflow. Why wouldn't you inspect your cleaning process? Which is, that's essentially what we're doing here, right?
Usually because it's not super simple, but this does make it super simple.
SIR is a bit of a unique test too, because we tell people all the time, IC, even C3 testing, they do a great job of, do I have the ingredients here for ECM, right? I know that I've got eggs, I got flour, I got a little oil, I got, but do I have a cake? And really SIR is looking for that cake. We're taking those ingredients, we're baking them in the oven, as it were, putting them in the reflow, actually getting them through, putting them in the chamber at that 4090 for that 168 hours. We're kind of baking the cake and saying, hey, are we growing dendrites here? Are we actually seeing some of that ECM activity? So it's a really valuable test, I think, for sort of that final peace of mind.
can you solve a debate I have in my own head?
I will try.
All right.
Good
Do
luck.
we have to get in your own head
Yeah.
first?
I'll express my thoughts, and then it'll be in your head too.
Okay.
Producer Paul, get ready with the dump button.
No. Sometimes I'll be talking to these guys, right? And I'll mention SIR testing,
Yeah.
and they'll go SIR. And sometimes they'll say SIR, and then they'll say SIR testing.
Do you call your solder paste inspection platform a spy too? Are you that guy?
I don't think so. I've heard people say that.
So you pick and choose. It's all right.
Is it okay if I say SIR or SIR?
I give you permission.
What do you say more often?
We say SIR. I don't know that anyone says surface insulation resistance. That doesn't quite roll off the tongue. But no, this SIR is kind of what it's traditionally called, I guess. But SIR, I've heard it more than once. I'll say that.
So how about, where are you at on ion chromatography? Do you call it ICT?
No.
SIR Nick. I like it.
I don't know what to tell you. You already know that's too big of a word for me already.
It's too big of a word.
Both of them in that sentence.
Ion.
if people want to prove that their boards are clean, how do they get information on the objective evidence in a box? How do they source it?
We made that easy too. It's magnalytix.com/getthebox. And there's a form on there that you fill out. And again, you're kind of one step closer to having that objective evidence checkbox done.
Well, that's awesome. This has been really cool. And obviously, on a personal note, it's been fun to be involved in the conception of this on the stencil side of things, and appreciate that partnership. So thanks for joining us. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.